Hi everyone, Lolly here. Welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, thank you very much for being here. I appreciate you stopping by and spending time on my channel. If you haven't yet, try and subscribe and come back and see what we're going to do next time. Today's video, we are going to paint some paper. So I painted this last night and posted it on one of the Facebook pages I'm on. And I had so many people say really nice things about how nice they were and how pretty. And someone mentioned that they would have liked to have seen the process. So that's what we're going to do today. Let's get started. Okay, this is really just this paper. And I got this at a thrift store. I have since picked up a couple of them, not the same design, but it's just like copy paper. But it's like you could buy a pack of it, and if you want to put an invitation on here for a shower or something like that, you would just put them in your copier and you would set it up and so it would print here on the inside. So this just has butterflies and roses. And it's so anyway, this was the pretty paper that I used. I also, somewhere in here, one of them is not here. It was a piece of graph paper. Oh, I see it. Hold on. Sorry if my head was in there. This is just a piece of graph paper that I have laying around, and so I tested it on there. I'm making a mermaid journal, and I needed some pretty papers, and so I couldn't find any of my scrapbook papers that I really liked that were different, and so I wanted to make my own papers. I also like to do this process to cover cardboard or cover chipboard, things like that. So once you get these papers made, I mean, the ideas are just endless. You just got your own special made paper. So let me see if I can show you my bucket of paint. Not my dirty kitchen. There's that. That's where I got the paint from. I didn't pick out anything. I didn't go buy anything. I buy paints wherever I see them. At the flea market, I picked up paints before. At Goodwill, I picked up paints before. I'm not even a paint expert. Like, I can barely tell you what one does and the other. But these are the ones I used last night. I typically like orange, pink, greens. I've even rolled on my Dilutions paint. Oh, here it is, which I also love. So what a deal that was. I got those for $1.25 a while back. So I mean, it's just whatever paint I have. I'm just sitting in here trying to find some colors. Again, whatever colors you like. I even have a color in the garage that's like a boho blue. When I do woodworking, I think I paint everything that boho blue, and I've actually used it on this kind of thing before as well. So it's just an experiment with paint. Paint, just paint, and then you get to create with it what you want. So, all right, let me see if I can get all in one frame. Can you see this? Yes. All right, what I do is always have the baby wipes close by and the remote to the TV. This is just one of those magazines I get in the mail. And so I mostly throw them away or shred, you know, the address, throw it away. But for these projects, they work out perfect because you put your glue on here, your paint on here, and then when you're done, you're going to throw it away anyway. So you just throw it away. Now, last night I laid out several pieces of paper at one time. I wanted to see if I could just maybe do that and get the same theme on a lot of them. So because I want to stay in this frame, I'm just going to do a couple of them at a time. For ATCs, if you have some chipboard or some cardboard you want to lay out, that would be perfect as well. You can lay out several of them. And that way you're using all the same paints, and the time that you're spending, you could be making a whole lot of different pages at the same time. Sorry. So, you can tape it down. I'm going to do that just because I don't want to be chasing it all over while you're watching. So I really just took some paint. My poor brayer is a mess, but it's well loved. So I just put that on there, and then I just start to roll. And it's dark at first, but the more you roll over it and your brayer picks it up, then it lightens it up in different places, and then other places I wanted it dark, so some places it will just stay that way. So it's just a process. Your brayer holds on to a lot of paint. So I just pick it up on this board, which is the type of board that they make pegboards out of. It just doesn't have all the holes. I have lots of glue underneath, so that helps give it a texture, because I didn't peel all the glue off because this is my work board. So I got these at, let me think, Habitat for Humanity. They were 25 cents a piece, and they're really big. So I got several of them, and some of them I keep really nice, so that when I do my journal flip throughs, then I have a really nice background. So here you go. I'm just gonna put this. I wanted the butterflies to show. I'm breathing like it's a big workout, but I like to get the paint smashed down on there so it's off the brayer onto the paper. And so today was nice when I shared my papers with everyone, because I feel like I'm not an expert at all of this. Everybody said such nice things about how pretty it turned out and that kind of thing. And so it's always nice when you're in a community like that. And I think that even when you're a beginner, you just get in there and show people what you're doing. Everybody's so excited to share their ideas and their knowledge, and we learn from each other. So that was really nice today to hear from other people who do the same thing, for them to think something I did was really pretty. I did not get a new page. The pink kind of dries before I even got back to that, so because it's pretty thin now. So hello. So here we go. We're just going to put on that, and it's so thin because I've smashed it in there really good on the paper that it dries pretty quickly. And I can tell you that I have this one taped down, but I don't have a jelly plate out. But what you can do is on the top of this, put this in the middle of your paper, push it down, and then it kind of has the same effect as if you were using a jelly plate. So that's what I did on those papers that I made yesterday as well. And tape these and do some of that just while you're watching. So you can see that just taping it down just kind of helps you get control of the paper a little bit. But since I don't have too many here, we'll just try it. Okay, so I have some blue. I love this blue, so I could put it on there. Lots and lots of coats, and it wouldn't bother me because I just love it. You can tell I use it a lot. So, and they're just, this one's Americana, and it's a Bahama blue. These are apple barrel, Anita's. So you get them at Hobby Lobby, or get them at Walmart. You know, they're normally like 50 cents, but that's what I do with them. It's just different projects. I always keep them on hand, so when the grandkids come, they like to get all the art stuff out and play, so that way we can afford to buy several of them. So but that's really all it is. They're good paints. Probably if I was going to do something like a Picasso and have it, you know, archived forever, might not, but for my everyday projects and my junk journals and my mixed media projects, I definitely use these all of the time. And these, now I get mine at Hobby Lobby. I'm sure they have them everywhere else. I'm sorry, I'm not in the camera and I keep forgetting. So, okay, so if your paper's wet enough, it'll pull up. And I had a couple of those do that yesterday, and I'm okay with that. I just painted over it. It just gave it a little texture. So when that starts to happen, I just turn the page and we're on to the next one. And so just keep going over it. The colors are really thin coats, so they're just about dry by the time you get ready to come back with your next paint. And then you just continue. And then, like, I have the glue bumps underneath here that help give it texture. If you wanted to add some texture to your paper, you could lay something underneath. And so you just turn your brayer this way and that way, and you just start to get really fun ideas. I think, you know, I'm an old hippie, so all those looks like tie-dye colors, I just love all that. So probably some of you can relate to that. So, not to tell my age, but those were fun days. Okay. All right. So again, I just tap the page on there, just like you would a gel plate. You just want to get up all that paper. You don't, I mean, paint. You don't want to waste it. So it leaves really nice patterns on your paper. So now we're going to try an orange. I feel like I'm slipping off here. So, all right. So we're going to try orange. I love orange. You'll find it all over my house. So again, if it comes out a little bit thick, then you just keep rolling until it thins out and it's more part of your paper than just a blob right in the middle. So the more you roll it, it'll spread out. Your brayer will pick up that paint, and then off you go. I'm going to do a set of Rolodex cards, and I'm going to paint a whole set of them at one time, and those are super fun to do. I've been doing a few of the Rolodex cards here and there, and then I watched a video. I can't think of her name, I'm sorry. You know, you get lost in the YouTube world and watch video after video, but I'll find it and link it. But she did truth cards on Rolodex cards, and that was really nice. But she painted, I think, 9 at a time or something like that, and I thought that was pretty smart, because I normally cover mine with scrapbook paper or something like that, but I've been loving painting more and more. So okay, so this got a little bit blurry. You want to be careful about the colors that you add on top of each other, so you don't get a gray color. I'm fine with this, but if you would add like a darker color or maybe a dark green, then it would start to get kind of muddy. So again, I'm not an expert on paint. I just know from experience those things happen. And but you know, if it did, it would just dry, and I would put another paint coat on there and move on and not worry too much about it. So it's really never that awful when you're doing something like this, because you're just creating your own custom papers here. And so all you can do is just keep layering, and so you just, whatever you want to be your primary color. So at that point during that sentence, my battery died. So what I did was take this paint that I bought a while back. They never did spray right, probably why they were on clearance, but really pretty colors. So if it had ever worked, I would have loved it. But what I do with them is I splatter with it, or if I'm in my junk journal or my art journal, put them at the top and spray some water on it, and it kind of bleeds down the page. But for this project, I just splattered here and there, and then this is the ones I made last night. And then you can just roll over it if you don't want the polka dots on here, or just like that. It takes a little while because it's a little thicker now that it's a bubble, so it'll take a little minute to dry. So you want to just stop there until that dried. Now, to give it a different effect, you can see if you just lightly roll over it, you don't want to smear it, you can give it, and so your brayer will pick up some of the paint, so you can do that. I like the splatters on there, but I'm going to go ahead and do this just so we don't have to wait for it to dry so much. So again, wherever you want, whatever you want the page to look like, pink, blue, whatever you want the primary color to be, that's where you want to stop, and just let it dry like that. And then you'll get addicted, and you'll just want to keep going, and so you'll make other pages and do those as well. They're probably not dry enough to put this on here, but I don't want to make you wait a long time. So here's a little white. White always goes well on top of anything. Kind of just push the colors back and give it a little. So I'm barely touching because the blue is still wet, otherwise it wouldn't smear. The white would just go over it, but I'm barely touching the brayer on here, and it's just going to give it a little kind of looks like you've used texture paste or something on it. So as it dries and you roll over it, the brayer will pick some of the paint back up if there's too much. But again, that's it. You just start putting down your paints. You can use any kind of paint, any kind of, but for this technique, it's just paint. All different kinds of paints that I have. I just, like I said, I buy them everywhere. The flea markets or garage sales, or if they're on sale at the store, I get them. We talked about the Rolodex cards, I think. I'm going to have to watch the video and see. I think we talked about that. But you can definitely do this on your Rolodex cards. You can do it on your paper, your chipboard, your cardboard. That was it. That's my process. It's going to dry. And again, you want to let them dry, and you know, just be careful of the colors. The more you roll your brayer over it, it's going to smear. Like this one kind of got a little muddy. This is what they are going to look like after they dry. These don't have as much paint. They kind of do. They have quite a bit of paint on there though, so it's just drying. Once they dry, they're going to lighten up and they're going to look really pretty. So now I'm excited to have this. My video is dedicated to Bonnie, who asked to see the process, and I hope that it was a good video for her to watch and to see, and for everybody to watch and see how you can do that. How you can just take one piece of paper and throw some paint on it, and then all of a sudden you have a new creation and you have paint that nobody else has. And when I'm doing this, and this is what Carolyn Dube will tell you also, when you're making your papers, you have leftover paint here or over here on your palette, whatever you're using for a palette. Just open your art journal book and do the background pages on there as well. And then you've got some pages filled in and ready to go. Let me show you mine. This is my new little book for 2020. This is going to be more of my, this is what happened this week. While I was painting papers, I painted the inside with the paint that I had left over here on the palette. And then I dripped some ink in there from those little sprayers. So that's what you can also do with the extra paint that you have on your brayer and on your palette. So there's just so many uses for all the paint that you have. You guys all enjoyed the video. It's fun to just watch it come to and see what it's going to be. And I mean, you just don't know. When you start out, you just don't know what you're going to have. That's empty. And what your page is going to turn out to be. It's really exciting. Oh my gosh, that one's not even open. So, all right, let me not waste any more of your time working on that. So, I also, if you watch my other videos, know my favorite store is the Austin Creative Reuse Store. You can look them up online or on Facebook. It's Austin Creative Reuse Center. And that's where I get paint and stamps and fabric and you name it. I can get everything there. So here's the cute little red, white, and blue page. I think that's about all I would do with that. And again, the more you push your brayer out, the better. You can use regular copy paper on here. It doesn't have to be any kind of weight. The only time the weight would make a difference is depending on what you're going to do with it when you're finished with it. So if it's going to be ATC, it should be on chipboard or something stiffer, or you can adhere this to your cardboard or your ATC. That's super cute. A little focal point here and a little phrase or something like that. That's a really cute background. So I like that. All right, I'm going to say it again. Hope you guys all enjoyed it. Thanks for requesting that I share this time with you and show you how to do this little process. When I do the Rolodex cards, sometime this weekend, I am off for 4 days. I'm so excited. I don't even know what to do with myself. But go over to Carolyn Dube's YouTube channel. She's got lots and lots of fun ideas and is so good at all of this stuff. She is definitely an expert. And so go over there, and I'll put all the links below so that you guys can hop over there and see that too. Thanks again. You guys take care, and I'll see you on the next video.